Welcome to Previously On, a podcast series created to help you through some of the most complex yet brilliant television ever made. Game of Thrones, Season 6, Episode 9, Battle of the Bastards. We begin in Meereen, a city under attack from the Masters' fleet. Daenerys, Tyrion and Missandei meet the Masters on the beach. Tyrion says they are to talk terms of surrender, to which the Masters tell Daenerys she can walk away if they get to keep the Unsullied army, Missandei and kill the dragons. Daenerys points out no, they've misunderstood actually, and it's their surrender they're there to discuss. She climbs onto Drogon's back and takes to the air alongside Viserion and Rhaegal, obliterating the Masters' forces and fleet. Outside Winterfell, Jon meets with Ramsay. Ramsay offers him a pardon for deserting the Night's Watch if he kneels and hands Sansa over. Jon rejects this and counters with an offer of one-on-one combat. Ramsay declares he doesn't know if he could beat Jon, but he does know his army can. Back at camp, Jon, Tormund and Davos draw a battle plan. Sansa tries to drum home to Jon just how devious and cruel Ramsay is, telling him that they'll never get Rickon back and should have waited until they have more men. Jon promises to protect her. She replies wisely that no one can protect anyone. Jon meets with Melisandre and orders her not to bring him back if he dies. She says she can't promise that. Davos is on a walk and stumbles upon some ashes. He finds the stag he carved for Princess Shireen. It's charred from fire. He finally realises how she died. Theon and Yara Greyjoy arrive in Meereen. Meeting with Daenerys and Tyrion, they offer 100 ships of the Iron Fleet in return for Daenerys supporting Yara's claim for the Salt Throne, which is the throne of the Iron Islands. Daenerys agrees on the condition that the Ironborn cease raiding and raping. In Winterfell, the day of reckoning has arrived, and the armies of Jon Snow and Ramsay Bolton gather for battle. Ramsay brings Rickon forward and tells him to run to Jon, but then draws his bow and begins shooting arrows. Jon jumps on his horse and gallops to meet him, but Ramsay finds his mark and Rickon is killed. In blind rage, Jon charges the enemy army alone, forcing Davos to call the attack. Ramsay's archers bring down Jon's horse, and he sees Ramsay's cavalry bearing down. Just as Jon looks doomed, the two armies collide head-on around him. A furious, bloody battle ensues. Hundreds of dead from both sides litter the battlefield. Jon stands in the middle of the fray as Ramsay directs his forces from further back, ordering his archers to fire into the crowd regardless of who they hit. A wall of corpses slowly rises from the mud, and Ramsay's soldiers march forward to form a horseshoe barrier around the three sides of Jon's army, trapping them against the wall of the dead. They lower spears and slowly close in, killing as they go. Jon is knocked to the ground and trampled by his own men, slowly suffocating under the scrambling bodies. Clawing his way up, he grabs a lungful of air, but it seems the battle is lost. A blowing horn signals hope as Knights of the Vale ride over the hill to the rescue, watched by Sansa and Littlefinger. They quickly decimate what remains of the Bolton army, and Ramsay retreats to Winterfell. Jon and his men follow, capturing Ramsay, who is savagely beaten by Jon, and the Stark sigil flies once again over Winterfell. Hooray! That night, Sansa visits a bound and blooded Ramsay in the kennels. He tells her his hounds will not turn on him, but Sansa reminds him he's been deliberately starving them. She smiles and walks away as Ramsay is eaten alive by his own pets. Thanks for listening. Hope it's been helpful. Listen, if you've enjoyed this, I would love it if you subscribed. We've got loads more shows where this came from, and we'd love you to join us for them. If you know someone who needs to get up to speed with Thrones, just send them our way. A 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts from would also be absolutely fantastic. If you've got any feedback, have I pronounced a name wrong? I hope I haven't. Or ideas for a show that we should be covering? We'll almost certainly be doing the big ones, but you never know. There may be others that we've missed. Let us know. I'd love to hear from you over on Twitter. You can find us at Previous Podcast, or just email us hello@previouslyon.co.uk. Previously On is presented by Jamie East and is a Daft Doris production.